Holding on number 86. That penalty is accepted. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the down. First down.
Bjornsson holding again.
Well, that's why he got around that corner, because Bjornsson held and Daryl Johnston held. And then Emmett Smith was running her right in behind Moose Johnston.
Bjornsson, there was some doubt whether or not he could play.
Here's Bjornsson here, and here's Moose Johnston. So that's what they get a hold there, and you get a hold right there. And that was the corner that Emmett Smith ran around.
Dallas been penalized 10 times for 80 yards. First down and 20.
Crowds really help defense.
Eggman will throw. Daryl Johnston to the 40. The Moose, even here, that familiar call. Lee Woodall made the stop.
Well, Moose Johnston's been in the league for 8 years now, so you know wherever he goes, you're going to hear something. So he's not in the backfield now. He was lined up right there as a slot. He was up in the slot or the wing on the left side. Here he is right here. So now you get a linebacker on him, and he's just from that position just going to run a slant against Ken Norton.
Yep.
He just beat him with quickness there. Norton looked like he was in quicksand.
Eggman gets to Emmett Smith, and again he's chased by Goldman, and Smith skips. Maybe he didn't get the first down before he stepped out of bounds.
Emmett Smith has run out of bounds more today than I've seen him run out of bounds in 3 years.
I agree.
I think that he's had, he's been banged around and bumped up and had so many injuries this year that he's just trying to avoid some here. And when he sees he doesn't have any more, he's just saying, I'll just get out of there and save it for another play.
In past years, he wouldn't save it. He'd have turned it up.
And sometimes in turning it up, you may find something there too. But I didn't feel that any time that he's run out of bounds that it's really hurt them today.
No. Just a little bit short.
I think what has hurt them is not getting the ball to Michael Irvin, or the good coverage on Michael Irvin that has forced Troy Aikman to do other things and go to other people in other places where he hasn't wanted to.
Well, he's had single coverage 3 or 4 times on Deion Sanders and tried to go, and the single coverage has done the trick. 3rd and inches. And
now it's interesting that in the overtime they had Kelvin Martin in there, who I really feel Troy Aikman feels more comfortable with Kelvin Martin than he does Deion Sanders.
3rd and short.
There's a guy, Ken Norton, who's won all 6 of these last 6 games. 3 when he was playing for Dallas, 3 with San Francisco.
2 tight ends. 3rd down. Aikman quarterback sneak. He didn't get much. He may not have gotten the first down, or if he did, he just barely got it.
For years, since Norv Turner was the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, they didn't have a quarterback sneak.
I know.
And then about a month ago, they got in a short yardage situation. They needed one and didn't have it, so they put in a quarterback sneak.
They're going to measure again.
And then Barry Switzer told everyone, Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, put it in. Barry Switzer, the head coach, told everyone, we have a quarterback sneak now. Troy Aikman said, how can it be a sneak when the head coach tells everyone? So there's going to be a quarterback run. Everyone knows we got it. We can't sneak anywhere if they know you got it.
Going to be close again. Yes, he did. He needed inches, and that's all he got.
That's the dangerous thing about that quarterback sneak, though, is when you have a quarterback like Troy Aikman who had concussions, or Steve Young, when you run a quarterback sneak, you have to lead with your head. The first thing that you stick in there is your head.
12-20, say 12-25 by the time they get up to the line. Left in overtime, 1st and 10 Cowboys. They're at their own 44-yard line. Daryl Johnston on the move, and Aikman back to throw. Irvin makes the catch. Drakeford fell down as a flag on the play. Irvin slipped down, Drakeford slipped down, a penalty marker down, and that could move them very close to field goal range if it's against San Francisco.
Defense number 22, 5 yards, first down.
Tyrone Drakeford got it all the way. You're going to see Michael Irvin beats him and catches the ball, and then when he goes to tackle him, he grabs his face mask.
They both lost their footing.
The wide receivers in the corners all day have been losing their footing out there. And that's why I remember when Michael Irvin first in the first quarter, he slipped down, then he put on longer cleats. And his footing has been much better since he put on the longer cleats.
First down, Dallas at the 49er 39. Deion Sanders backhand on offense. He's put wide to the right. Bjornsson moves in motion. Aikman gets to Emmett Smith. Trying to take it outside, wrapped up by Lee Woodall.
The Cowboys needed about 10 more yards to get in Bonio's field goal range here. Lee Woodall makes a big defensive play there.
Emmett Smith tried to move it outside, and Woodall recovered.
See, what I think is if you get that if they get right here to the 20-yard line, that would make a 37-yard field goal. And I think on this grass field, everyone would feel comfortable with that for the Cowboys.
Johnson slipped. And down he went. Aikman saw the blitz, got it to Bjornsson. And again, he lost his footing.
Because right now, it would be about a 52-yard field goal.
52 yards, his longest.
He lost his footing, and he almost lost the ball.
Yeah. McDonald.
You know, this has been a heck of a physical game. I mean, and not only, you know, you expect linemen to be physical and, you know, and big linemen and line play and all that to be physical, but the linebackers have been physical, and the secondaries today have been very physical.
3rd and 7. Smith, the lone back behind Aikman. To Sanders on the slant. That's close to another Cowboy first down. Sanders saying it is, and so does the official. And they're close enough now.
I think every time they put Steve Israel in there, they know that they can get inside of him on a slant. And you see what Deion Sanders did? He just gave him a little fake to the outside, and then once he got inside, Troy Aikman just zipped it right in there.
Close enough for Bonio now, if they have to try it.
I would still feel comfortable. I think they would need about 8 or 10 more yards.
The footing is very unsure, this part of the field. That's Emmett Smith, and Smith falling over people. That looks like Emmett Smith to the 11. 16 yards. Martin Hanks made the stop.
And they finally got inside. They haven't been able to do that all day to be able to get inside. They're going to run right in this area. See, he starts to the right, then he cuts back to the left because Mark Tuinei, 71, makes a big block there. Dolman started to come in. Tuinei just rode him and just kept riding him in. And then Emmett Smith was able to cut right off Mark Tuinei's block.
1st and 10 at the 12. Aikman gives to Darrell Johnston. At about the 11. Barker made the stop. Bonio has made the last 30 attempts from inside the 35, and they are not waiting. Here he comes. From 29 yards out to win it for Dallas. It's over.
So the Cowboys win an epic. Don't rule out a rematch come playoff time. So those are the two big games from this weekend. Let's have a look at the rest of them now with the action roundup. With the Packers losing, Denver had the chance to establish the league's best record with a win over Chicago. John Elway, playing on a bad hamstring, did the smart thing in the second quarter and handed off to Terrell Davis at the 1-yard line. Denver led by 11 at half-time, but in the third quarter, Dave Craig brought Chicago back.
Craig to the end zone for Conway, and it is touchdown!
Down by 5 with just seconds left in the game, Craig had the Bears in scoring position again.
To the end zone for Conway, trapped and intercepted. Game is over, Denver has won.
Warren Moon was watching for most of this one, and what he was watching was Seattle turning 2 of his interceptions into scoring drives. The Seahawks had 29 points off turnovers, including this 26-yard run by Steve Broussard through a waving, cheering Minnesota defense, as the Seahawks steamrolled the Vikings for their 3rd straight win. There's a theme to this roundup, by the way. The entire AFC West was playing the NFC Central, and it looked like the Raiders had the best of the draw with a trip to Tampa. Trent Dilfer, sick of being intercepted, fumbled by way of a change, and the Raiders capitalised with a trick play.
R.B. Williams on the halfback pass. Touchdown to James Jett.
In a tight game, Dilfer eventually settled down and brought the Bucs back level at 17 with this pass to Mike Allstott. But with 8 seconds left, it looked like the usual Tampa loss when the Raiders' Cole Ford lined up a close-range field goal. From 28 yards, though, he hooked it, and in overtime, Dilfer drove 5 yards further in for Michael Houston.
It's good. Raiders fall to 4-6. Buccaneers have their second win of the season.
You notice they choose the easy half of the name to spell out. Gus Frerotte had a shaky start, but in another surprisingly close game, he put the Redskins ahead in the third quarter.
And Frerotte to throw, looking for 6. He got it to Westbrook.
Arizona's Boomer Esiason, though, threw for more yards in this game than he'd thrown all season. 522, the third most in history. And this touchdown pass to Anthony Edwards sent the game to overtime, where Kevin Butler, signed by the Cards this week because Greg Davis kept missing field goals, missed a field goal. Later that same overtime, the Cardinals were driving again until LaShawn Johnson, trying to make extra yardage, fumbled. Darrell Morrison recovered for the Redskins. And 5 plays later, Scott Blanton split the uprights from 38 yards. But hold on, there was a 10-yard holding penalty on Washington, and from 48 yards, Blanton did not split the uprights. The ball went back to Arizona, and Kevin Butler, signed this week, etc., 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 came on for another try.
Snap down, and this one is good, and Arizona has won the game with 33 seconds left to play in the overtime.
We should have mentioned earlier, by the way, that this is overtime week in the NFL. Except for the Eagles, led by a man named Ty, they fell behind at home to the Bills as Jim Kelly passed to Quinn Early, made it 24-10 in the third quarter. But then Ty Detmer hit Irving Fryer, as he seems to every week, to pull within 7. And on 4th and goal at the 3-yard line with 28 seconds left, Detmer went for the... No tie in this one, I'm afraid. Bruce Smith's sack ended the game and the Eagles' 4-game winning streak. Dan Marino, who hadn't broken an NFL record for at least 2 weeks, became the first quarterback to pass the 50,000-yard mark in this game. More importantly for Jimmy Johnson, he had 3 touchdowns as the Dolphins snapped their losing streak with 37 points against the limping Colts. Drew Bledsoe, who's been brilliant the past few weeks, probably thought average would be good enough against the Jets. Wrong. They took a 21-0 lead with the help of a couple of 1-yard runs from Adrian Morrell. But no one east of Atlanta can blow a lead like the Jets. Bledsoe brought New England back with touchdown passes to Terry Glenn and Ben Coates, and with less than 5 minutes left, put them ahead for the first time in the game.
Bledsoe with all kinds of time. Fires, touchdown! Keith Myers in the back of the end zone has given the Patriots the lead.
The Jets have one last chance to take it back, but Frank Reich's 4th down pass was broken up in the end zone, and Rich Kotite could forget those post-game remarks he'd started preparing at half-time and go back to the usual script. The Steelers scored a touchdown 5 seconds before half-time to take the lead in this one, but a lot can happen in 5 seconds.
It's taken by David Dunn. This is the final play of the half. David Dunn's in open field. Johnson has a good angle on him, and now one man to beat. Can they get him? They can't! David Dunn returns the kickoff for a touchdown.
Jerome Bettis went over 1,000 yards for the season and over from 1 yard for the touchdown in the third quarter to make it 24-17 Steelers. But in every game since Bruce Coslet took over, the Bengals have come from behind. And in the fourth quarter, Kajana Carter took a screen pass from Jeff Blake and took it in for the decisive score. Whatever Bruce Coslet's doing in Cincinnati, he's doing it right. 3 wins out of 3, all against divisional rivals. The Ravens' Ted Marchibroda has been giving Vinny Testaverde more freedom to call his own plays. I don't think Vinny called this one, though, getting sacked here and losing one of his 2 fumbles in the game. Midway through the second quarter, the Jaguars came after him again, but this time Vinny saw them coming.
Blitz, Testaverde reads it, gets it to Morris out of the backfield, and Morris shakes off 2 tacklers and scores.
Down 27-16 late in the fourth, Jacksonville's Mark Brunell hit James Stewart for a 9-yard touchdown. And inside the last minute, faked the handoff at the 1-yard line and took it in himself the long way round for the winner. Testaverde had 3 touchdown passes, but the Ravens just can't stop anybody. The Oilers had Chris Chandler back fit for this game, and he made short work of the Saints secondary with 3 touchdown passes as Houston rebounded from a rough couple of weeks to win on the road. Atlanta can be counted on to give up 50 points at least once a season, usually to San Francisco though, not St. Louis, but they were thoroughly embarrassed on the road by the Rams, who only just missed making it 60. The Panthers hadn't lost a home game coming into this one, and they kept that record intact with a strong second half against the Giants. This 17-yard pass from Kerry Collins to Howard Griffith, sealing the win for them in the fourth quarter. Let's look at the standings now, starting in the NFC East, where the Cowboys have pulled to within a game of the leaders.